Hi, David. I'm Seth from philstar.com. I've got two questions for you. Number one is, what do you do to keep your music current? And number two is, what's your inspiration for your new album?
To keep the music current, I think I rely a lot on the producers that I work with, because the producers are the ones who create the sounds. And I'll work with them a lot of times. I'll say, you know what, I really like this group. I like the new Justin Bieber song, the way he does this, or I like Nico and Vince, how they use these rhythms. And like I like how Ed Sheeran keeps still the acoustic, but he has it with this. And then the producers will kind of bring that all about. But I guess my problem is I don't worry enough. Maybe I don't worry enough about, hip enough, because I paid more attention to, well, what emotion does this create? So the record label, they'd always be like, well, oh, is it hip enough? Is there enough like cool sounds? And is this catchy? And I'm just like, well, does this connect? Does this express the feeling that I need to say? Does this sound? Is this quiet enough so that people can hear the message or hear the words? And that's, I guess, what I focus more on. And I really rely on the producers to help me so that there's enough balance, so that it still sounds good, that people feel like, oh, I like how this sounds, while still being able to feel the message. And as far as the new, what is the inspiration behind the new album? So, Postcards in the Sky, that's what it's called. It really was about connecting to, just as Imagine Dragons say, go back to my roots, anyone know that song? I really felt like I needed to remind myself why I was doing music in the first place, because I kind of felt like I lost why I wanted to do this. I was so caught up in trying to please everybody, please the record label, please my management, please the lawyers, please the fans, please my family, that I didn't remember. I was like, I forgot why I liked to sing, how it made me feel. And so this album was really a lot of what I found about myself after I took a 2-year break from music. Because I completely just stopped doing music and career to be a missionary for the Church of Jesus Christ, the Latter-day Saints, a Mormon missionary, and because I'm a Mormon. And so coming back from that, I was like, whoa, I just spent 2 years not even thinking anything about myself. It was all about how I can bring people to God, how I could just build my relationship with Him, and just serve people if they needed their walls painted, or if they needed to build their home, or if they needed help with groceries, or teaching people how to pray, things like that. And I came back and I was like, I found myself, but it was by not focusing on myself at all. I wasn't worried about how many likes I was getting on Facebook or on Instagram. I wasn't worried about, am I making my, the goals for the business and it wasn't anything about that. It was just about giving. And so I came back and I'm like, okay, I'm trying to find the motivation to keep singing, and I'm not finding it. I don't know why I'm trying to write songs. Why am I performing again? Because it didn't have as much meaning as it did before. And so I really had to take a time and think, well, why do I do this in the first place? Is it to make everyone else happy? Or am I trying to, I didn't know. And so the first song I released, Numb, was about saying, you know what? I don't know if this is really what I should be doing, but I'm going to take a second chance anyway. I'm going to try music again. But I don't want to go back to where I was before, because even if there was a sold out crowd, or you're performing next to these other big artists, and people are screaming your name and have posters with your name and face on it, even with all of that going on, I was like, why am I missing? Why am I feeling empty? And I look at the other musicians and they're feeling empty too. And I'm like, I don't know if I'm talking too much, but I needed to know that there was another reason other than just attention and for fame. I needed to have another purpose. And so I needed to learn how to give. I needed to help people connect to what I was connecting to on my mission and since then. And that's really just a relationship with God or a relationship with other people, giving and learning how to speak up. Because I didn't speak up before. And I dealt with a lot of abuse emotionally. And I decided that I needed to open up about that because that's really connecting with God and speaking up for myself is what has helped me find myself. And I thought, who else might be dealing with not feeling good enough? Or who else might be dealing with emotional or maybe even physical abuse and they don't know how to get out, they don't know how to speak up for themselves, and I felt like I needed to give them a voice. So more than just like, hey, everybody loves me again, I really want them to listen to a song and say, you know what, that helped me. That helped me feel like I can speak up. I can let out my voice and it can be heard, whether it's by God or by something out there or by a family member or even a stranger. I just need to be heard. And so that's what Postcards in the Sky is about, is letting it out. Let out what you have. Let out your postcards and just put them out and have the faith that you will be heard and that you're important.
Well, thank you very much, David, for that wonderful answer. Guys, please spread that out because a lot of people needed to hear that, especially during these days when attention is primarily the purpose of many people. Am I right? We're going to spread that out? Yes? Yes. All right. We have another question over here.